Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my Instagram photos. Recently, I kind of established a theme that I really like for my Instagram. I don't know if you can tell, but I actually archived a lot of my photos. And I just thought it would be a good idea to show you guys the different ways I like to edit it because I've actually gotten questions from a few of you guys asking how I edit my photos. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should definitely check that out. It is at Allison, along with the majority of all of my social media platforms. Give this video a thumbs up and also leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of apps you like to use to edit your photos, because I'm always looking for new ways to spice up my feed, as you can probably tell by my indecisiveness of picking an Instagram theme. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so this is the folder that I like to use. If you saw my What's on My iPhone video that I filmed a couple of weeks ago, I skipped over all the apps in this folder because I was going to explain all of them in this video. I'm first going to be going over how I like to take my photos. Personally, I'm somebody who feels a little bit uncomfortable when people take pictures of me, so those are usually the worst photos of me. I like to take pictures by myself using a tripod and my phone, and the app that I like to use to take pictures of me is LensBuddy. This is basically what it looks like. It's literally just a camera app, but it has a lot of timers. The settings that I like to use on LensBuddy are over here. I like to make the number of photos to be until stop. You can pick for it to take just 3 photos, 5 photos, 10, etc. But I like to say until stop because I just like to chill in front of the camera and move and grab those candid shots. Then there's also a timer, which is the frequency of the amount of photos you like to take. So I like to do 0.5, and that is the lowest that you can go for high quality, so the shortest amount of time in between each shot. But then you can also do burst mode, but then with bursts you can't really take pictures in portrait mode if that's your kind of style. So I prefer having my optimized for quality and then at 0.5 seconds. And last but not least, I have my setting in photo, but then if you want it in portrait, you can also pick portrait. So when you go into the galleries, these are all the photos that I've taken on LensBuddy, and it categorizes it to each day that you had like different photos. So like for example, this day when I took pictures of myself doing gymnastics, it literally took 500 photos of me. And pretty much what I like to do when I take the pictures is I will go to the folder, I guess, and then I go through each photo and I mark it as like a thumbs down or a thumbs up. So there's usually a bunch that I really hate, like, I'm not gonna lie. And then once I'm done, at the top you see I click on the thumbs up and I see all the photos that I like, and I export all of those. And then as I'm editing them, I kind of narrow down to see which ones I actually like and which ones I actually don't like. So that's the process that I go through to taking my own photos. I personally like this a lot because when people aren't watching me take my photos, I feel a lot more comfortable and then I can pose better. But I'm trying to learn how to pose in front of people taking pictures of me. So now I'm going to be showing you how I like to edit my photos, and the app that I like to use first is VSCO. VSCO is an app that has been my ride or die on Instagram since I got Instagram. I love VSCO. I used to edit my photos only on VSCO, and then I switched over to only on Lightroom, and now I do a mixture of VSCO and Lightroom. So this is the photo that I'm going to be showing you guys how I would edit it. This is already on my Instagram feed, but this is how I took the picture. I'm going to show you how I like to switch it up. So I don't like to use any of the presets that come on VSCO. They are nice ones that are paid for, but I'm not going to pay for VSCO because some of the features that appear on the paid for VSCO you can actually get for free from using Lightroom. So I like to go over here into like the editing tool, and the first thing I like to do is adjust. So on a regular photo, which I will show again later, but I like to crop it to 4:5 because that is the dimensions of Instagram, and our phones take pictures in 4:3, so then it's a little bit off. But for this specific photo, I actually like it in a square, and I would actually rotate it because I didn't like the angle that my face is on. Everything that I'm about to show you is pretty much generally what I do for every single photo, but obviously the numbers kind of vary depending on the lighting and also the colors that are in the photo. So the first thing I like to do is I like to go to exposure, and I actually like to bring that down. Then next I like to bring down the contrast as well. Then I like to go to sharpen, and I like to bring that up because it makes the photo a bit more of a higher quality. I like to skip over now to saturation, and this is the one that I like to bring up, and I bring it up until in general the whole photo looks good. But as you can see right now, my face is kind of red, but then like I really like the color of the orange that's appearing like on my shoulder chest area, so I kind of disregard if it looks a little bit bad because I fix that later. And then I like to go to the tone tool, and here I like to turn up the highlights to like around the middle, and then the shadows to like a little bit over here. And yeah, the colors do look a little bit crazy, but trust the process. Then I like to go to white balance, and then I turn my temperature up to make it a little bit yellow. Then the last thing that I like to do in VSCO is I would go to grain, and then I just add a little bit of grain to do a bit of texture, and that's about it. So this is the before and this is the after in terms of the coloring. If you have paid for VSCO, you can actually do the next steps that I do on Lightroom on your VSCO app. For you to do that, you would be using the HSL tool, and you would just be editing colors specifically, but I just do that on Lightroom because I don't want to pay. As you can see, my Lightroom has a ton of photos, and I also have a bunch of different presets actually. Like, I made this preset for a really white feed, and I really like it, but I just know I'm not the type of person who'd be able to maintain a very white Instagram feed. I also used the white preset over on this picture over here. It really came out really nicely. I'm really proud of it. So I like to bring in the picture that we just edited, and basically where I like to go is down here to the color tool, and the place that I like to go is in the top right corner. I like to click mix, and then over here you see color mix, and it has all these different colors. So I make sure the brightness of my phone is fully up so I see the picture in full effect. And what I see is that there is a lot of reds in my face. So what I like to do is I would bring the saturation down a little bit for that, but not too much, because you see, it kind of makes me look like I'm dead. And then I'll probably like turn up the luminance to brighten it a little bit, because turning up the luminance will make the color lighter, and then that also acts a bit as a desaturation, but it doesn't take off the color to where you look dead. Then I would go ahead and adjust the orange. Orange is basically what is my skin color. If my skin is too orange from what I did in VSCO, I will turn down the orange a little bit, and then also I would turn up the luminance a little bit. So this is what it looked like before, and then this is what it looks like after, and that is pretty much how I would edit this photo in specific. And the same kind of applies for Instagram stories as well. I like to edit my Instagram stories on my phone instead of using like filters. This is a picture that I'm going to show you how I would edit for my Instagram stories. It's pretty much exactly the same thing, except I don't use Lightroom. So what I would do is actually take the pictures on Instagram stories so that the dimensions stay the same. But if you decide to take it on your camera roll, make sure when you crop it to 9:16, because that is the dimensions that will fill up the Instagram story. Essentially, the steps are exactly the same. I like to go to the exposure and I turn it down. Then what I like to do again is go to contrast and get rid of any harsh contrast line. We go to sharpen, and then we turn up the quality of the photo. And saturation, I lift it up a little bit, and I'm pretty much looking at the saturation of the wall and the pillow. I go to tone, and then I bring up the highlights, and then I bring up the shadows. And then usually when I do this step, sometimes the saturation goes out of hand, so I have to go back to saturation and bring it down a little bit. Then I go to my white balance and I turn up the temperature. Then the last step is I just like to add the grain to add a little bit of texture to the photo. This is the before of the picture, and then this is the after. So it's just very warm and like neutral. So that is how I like to edit and take my Instagram photos. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also again, comment down below which apps do you like to edit your photos with. And also if you have any tips for any of the apps that I like to use that you personally feel like people that watch this video need to know, comment them down below. And also if you feel like I need to know it, I would definitely like to learn. If you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And that is all for me. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.